What's up? It's Jonathan with another tutorial video here on transparencies in Adobe Illustrator. I'm kind of basing this off the last design that we looked at, that we kind of made with that transparency there. I'm going to be looking at how to add a grunge effect to this. It's also one of my favorite things to do regarding transparencies. So I have a grunge vector opened up over here. It kind of looks like something like that, but there are tons and tons out there. I actually found this pack from Think Design called Subtle Grunge Vector. This is number 6 in that pack, and I use it quite often. So I've got it here. I'm going to go ahead and select it. I've made it a compound path, and I'm going to keep it, for the time being, I'm going to keep it black, but we're going to turn it white here in a second based on the design we already have. We go ahead and copy it, Command-C if you're on a Mac, and I'm going to go back over here to our other palette with the 8-ball. I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer, and I'm going to drop it in, paste it in there. And I'm just going to kind of move it up here. I'm actually going to duplicate that. If you want to duplicate something on a Mac, you're going to do Option, click on it, and you'll see Option, and you'll click on the design, click Option, and you'll see that little white arrow pop up, duplication arrow, and then you just want to drag it, and it'll duplicate it, just like that. So now we have 2 here. And one typical thing, let's say you had this red background, one typical thing someone might do in a design situation, it's kind of an easy workaround, is you would just make your grunge the same color as the background, and it's going to give the impression of a transparency, but not quite completely what we're going for. It's not really authentic. It could create some issues. It could work in some scenarios, and it could create some issues kind of on down the road. Just trying to resize it a little bit so I get it somewhere I like it. Let's see. I do a little smaller. Anyways, you can just play around with the positioning there till you've got something that you think's cool, and it's pretty cool. Well, we'll go with that. So anyways, one of the problems that could create is if your customer ever decides to put this bad boy on like a blue background, then you're just going to have an awkward kind of red grunge or whatever your original color is. So you're going to want something, you're going to want to do this in such a way that it's universal. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight both of those there. I'm going to press Command-8 to get them down into a compound path. This just makes them to where it's basically one grunge as opposed to 2 different ones. I'm going to go ahead and make it white. And still not all the way where we need it to be, but getting closer. And I'm going to go ahead and move that compound path down into that same layer where we want the grunge to actually happen. I'm going to put it on top of the ellipse circle that we have already. And kind of a similar process to the first video, we're going to go ahead and highlight both of those elements. And we got the transparency window open again. We're going to go ahead and make our mask. And you're going to see it's on invert mask right now, and it pushes right through and it lets that blue come through just perfectly. So now you've created a design that's going to be universal with any color that you put behind it, which is going to it's going to save the customer a lot of time, and it's just going to be more effective for them, and it's going to just create a better result for you. And again, we'll just go ahead and turn that background off and show you what it would look like as a transparency. And you can see that transparency comes through just like the first time. It's just a great, easy technique, and I think once you get it down, there are just so many ways to use it that are effective, and just endless ways to use it. And if you guys have some cool ways or cool techniques to do that, let me know. If there's a certain even grunge pack that you like, that you use the most, let me know. Again, this one was Think Design subtle grunge vector number 6, and I think there's like 12 or something like that in there, different types. And I'm sure you can Google search for that. If you have any questions, let me know below. Comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any requests for tutorials, and I'd be happy to add them to the list to do. It's been great, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks.